Have you ever felt that little knot in your stomach just before deploying a new approval rule in your HCM system? Yeah, we've all been there. Well, this explainer is for you. We're going to break down exactly how to simulate and test those rules so you can deploy with confidence every single time.
You know how it is. You spend hours, maybe even days, carefully building out a complex approval flow. It's perfect. But right before you hit that button to push it live, that little voice in your head pops up. Wait, what if this breaks something? It's a totally valid fear, and that hesitation can really slow things down.
But what if you could just get rid of that risk entirely? Imagine being able to see exactly how your new rule is going to behave in what looks like a live scenario, but without actually touching your live environment. Well, that's not just a nice idea, it's exactly what we're going to walk through right now.
And the key to all of this is a really powerful feature called simulation. Honestly, the best way to think of it is like a flight simulator, but for your approval rules. It's a completely safe space where you can test everything out before you actually take off.
So, approval simulation lets you find and squash those bugs early. You can completely avoid that painful old cycle of, submit, find a mistake, delete, and start all over again. Instead, you can tweak and perfect your rule beforehand. It sounds simple, but it saves a massive amount of time and, let's be real, a lot of frustration.
Okay, so before we can actually run a simulation, we've got to make sure our environment is ready to go. Don't worry, there are just 2 quick prerequisites we need to take care of first. It boils down to this. First, we need to flip the switch that enables testing for the entire site. And second, we have to make sure your user account has the specific permissions it needs to actually run these tests. Let's take a quick look at each one.
The very first step is to set up a profile option called HCM_test_approval rules_enabled. You're going to want to set this at the site level, and here's the most important part. Set its value to true. Think of this as the master switch that turns on all the simulation magic across your system.
Next up, permissions. Your user account absolutely must have the Review HCM Approval Transactions as Administrator duty role. This is the role that actually grants you the privilege to even see and use the test function. It's pretty simple. No role, no test.
All right, with our setup complete, we are ready for the main event, running the actual simulation. This is where the magic happens. Okay, so first thing you'll do is navigate over to the Transaction console and then click on the Approvals tab. From there, you can search for the specific rule you want to test. You can find it by transaction name, user, status, whatever's fastest for you.
Once you've found your process, what you're looking for is the Test Rules icon. When you see that icon, that's your confirmation that testing is available and you are good to go. If you don't see it, that's just a little signal to you to go back and double-check those setup steps we just covered. From here, it's honestly so easy. You just click that Test Rules icon, and that'll take you to the configuration page. Then, you just click Simulate. That's it. The system will process the rule and pop up a message with the results.
So, you've run the simulation. Now what? Well, this last part is all about reading those results and taking the right action based on what you see.
You're going to get one of 2 outcomes. Best case scenario, you get the all clear. Your rule works perfectly and it's ready for deployment. But if an error is found, no big deal. The path is just as clear. You just go back to configure rules, make your edits, commit the changes, and run the simulation again. You just repeat that little loop until it's perfect.
The big takeaway here is really simple. When you simulate first, you totally remove the guesswork and the risk. It means you can deploy every single rule, no matter how complex, with total and complete confidence. This whole process really transforms rule creation, doesn't it? It goes from being something that causes anxiety to being an opportunity to be really precise. So now that you have this power to test and perfect, the only question left is, what amazing, complex rule are you going to confidently build next?